Hey, brothers, it's your boy Shamar back at you with another speaking session. And this one is going to be about the greatest show of strength is self-restraint. The greatest show of strength is self-restraint. I gotta say it 2 times, like Dr. Umar. So, what do I mean by that? Think about all the situations that could have been avoided if you were to show self-restraint. You would have been in a better financial situation. You would have avoided that crazy baby mother you have. You would have avoided a lot of problems that you got yourself into by just restraining yourself. And that does take strength. It does take strength, and it takes a lot of strength. Someone who can, fight UFC and be the top guy in the UFC, he can be weak inside. Someone could have a lot of money and have power, but they're weak inside. You see, that self-restraint is an inner test. Once you master that, that's where true freedom comes, because you have the freedom to indulge in moderation rather than excess. You have the freedom to choose. When you're addicted to something or when you're captive to something, you can't choose. You can't choose. And a lot of the patterns with the young black men, which a lot of them have not had the opportunity to have been taught. A lot of them have not had the opportunity to be taught these things. They didn't have a father in their life. And even if you did, that doesn't mean that he was teaching you the essentials, the things that you need to know, especially coming up in this society that is adverse. Okay? You need to know certain things. You need to have a certain mentality, a certain fortitude. Okay? To prepare yourself and to understand who you are. Because the world is not going to teach you that. And this is why you have channels like this that are able to give you insight on certain things that you may not have known. Hey, I learned a lot of things late in my life, that really I should have been taught very young, And I had a father in my life. I had my father in my life, and I love my father. But at the end of the day, the bottom line is there's a lot of things that has not been taught. A lot of things that should have been taught to the younger generation is not taught. And it's essential. And these are all essential things. And one of the things is self-restraint. If I see somebody who has great self-restraint, I have more respect for him than anybody who can call himself the toughest guy in the world, physically, right? Which can take a certain level of self-restraint as well, but does not mean that he's strong inside. He may have a certain level of self-restraint for certain things, like eating right, but then he may be weak when it comes to women, which a lot of men are weak too. Now, if you could master the concept of self-restraint when it comes to a woman, you're doing good. That's the main challenge for men. Okay? That's the main challenge, is to conquer that woman, is to make sure that you don't get drawn in, because their job is to draw you in, to break you down. If you can see a fine woman that is not good for you because, she's trouble, or she's not a decent woman, you can have the restraint to say, no, I'm not dealing with this woman. Even if she's throwing herself at you, and you may have that feeling, but you say, you know what, it's not worth it. Because you're not just looking at the now, you're looking at the future. You're not just looking at the now, you're looking at what's to come years down the line or months down the line. And there's a lot of people myself included, who has been through certain things that said I should have shown more self-restraint. But I'm always building in that regard. I'm always upgrading in that regard. And it's not that I'm any different from you. I'm just at a different stage in my life. It's not that you can't do it, but it's that I'm at a different stage in my life. All right? Where if you can go months without something and be fine, you're in a good position. Now you have the choice. You choose whether to do it or not. If you can go a month without certain things, that proves that what you can choose to indulge when you see fit, which there's a lot of power behind that. There's a lot of power behind that. And you should really practice that. You should practice that, because if not, you're easily infiltrated. That's a weakness. Okay? And us as men, we can't afford to have certain weaknesses, especially to certain things. So understand what I'm saying in this talking session. Leave your comments of your experiences of things that you may have regretted, you know, and that you wish that you would have abstained from in the situation that you're in now, because even that is a teaching lesson for others that may read it. The best comments I see, I'll start to, pin them, eventually. All right. And go ahead and like, subscribe, follow, and you'll get more in-depth content like this a few times a week. I'm not going to say weekly. I'm trying to say a few times a week. And yeah, so hey, I'll see you guys on the next episode. So tune in. Peace.